Well, hello, this is Jeff Gaudiosi, and you're on misplaceddraws.com where music comes to life. And my guest today may not be a household name in America, but his band, the Rasmus, have sold over 6 million records worldwide and headline festivals around the globe. On September 12th, they'll release their 11th studio album called Weirdo, and it features the work of some big name friends on it as well. Please welcome frontman of the Rasmus, Lauri Ylonen. Welcome, Lauri.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here with you.
Yep, it's a pleasure. Now, before we get into Weirdo, I'm sure there are a few people that are new to your band. Won't you give a little bit of background when you guys started, where you're
Yeah, of
from, and who joined you in the
course.
current lineup?
Yes, so we come from Finland.
Mm,
Every one of us originally from Helsinki, the capital city, Northern Europe. We started the band 30 years ago. We were 15 years old back then. We were schoolmates. First concert was played at the Christmas party at school. We played 5 songs in front of the whole school, and it was amazing. And we felt like, oh, this is what we want to do. And now, 30 years after, here we are, 11 albums and like a lot of things done. We have we come from like a very like normal families and like living in the suburbs of like outskirts of Helsinki, and we have 4 members. I'm the singer. We have guitarist Empu. She just joined us recently, 3, 4 years ago. And we have Eero, who's like one of the original members with me, and then Aki, the drummer.
And getting to Weirdo, I love how just diverse the record sounds. It's very modern, but there's, elements of electronic music, there's elements of pop music in it, but everything is done with sort of that rock guitar backing. How would you describe kind of the sound of Weirdo and the Rasmus?
Well, if you know us from before, you would you would say this is the hardest rocking or album that we've done
Yeah.
so far. I mean, it's the heaviest sound, and I think we were able to bring it to something like a modern band sounds like 2025, even though a lot of the influence comes from like for us like 90s or 80s, like we have that kind of like melodic
Mhm.
um music background, and then combined with this like a more modern sound, it's it's pretty good, I'd say.
Mhm. And I mentioned some of the big names that you worked with on Weirdo. One of which is legendary songwriter Desmond Child. And you've worked with Desmond on a few records now. How did you guys meet? And what's the process when you're working with Desmond? Do you go in with ideas and then just kind of round them out, or do you start from scratch with him? How does that work?
Yeah, I'm really honored to know Desmond Child, and I had a chance to work with him so many times. First time he contacted me, he sent me an email all of a sudden, like 2007, saying like, "Hi, this is Desmond Child. I would love to work with your band." I was like, "No, this can't be true." Like, because I'm a fan of his
Yeah.
work. Like, I knew every song. I grew up with, Kiss, Aerosmith, Bon Jovi, Alice Cooper, all my idols, all the posters I had. So he was behind all that music. And then all of a sudden he wants to work with us. Like, wow, that was amazing. And we actually met in Dominican Republic. We had a show there and he came to see it, and we stayed for a couple of days in this beautiful hotel, smoking Cuban cigars that he had brought with him, and then we were starting to plan the next Rasmus album. And ever since, we've been good friends with him. We have this tradition going to Greece. Uh, I think he has gone there like 20 times
Yeah.
since then. I've been there like 5 times, 5 summers. We go, we write music, we just talk about life and like, have a good time, but mostly work.
Mm.
We've written like 30 songs there at least.
Wow.
And usually I have ideas, like I record every day something, write down lines and like talk to my dictaphone or record on my phone. Um, and then I would go there and like, present my ideas, and this is like where I want to take the band, and but we basically start from scratch, almost like, it's I like to work like that when I work with him, because he's so talented, and by now he already knows me so well, so it's very easy to to get started, and we've been writing such good songs. So
And you mentioned Desmond's written some pretty legendary songs. If you guys ever considered covering one of his songs as sort of a break into the American market?
mm, that's an interesting thought. Maybe we should do Poison from Alice Cooper.
Well, because
That's
it's
hell
fun.
of a song.
Yeah, with your voice, I think there's certain songs like that. And I think Poison is a great one that I think would really just knock out of the park with your voice on it. But
Yeah, I love that song. I think I was 10 years old when that song came out, and I had Alice Cooper's poster on my wall, and I was always looking at him when I fell asleep and like, that villain dude, he's my hero. And you know, I think I based my own archetype a lot around Heath. Like I was so influenced by, he's that anti-hero
yeah.
kind of guy. Um, yeah. So actually, I've met Alice a couple of times, and we played a tour together once in Russia.
Oh,
Actually,
wow.
yeah, we had a beautiful tour. We were with Scorpions, Alice Cooper, and us.
Wow.
Like we got to hang out with the older guys, but it was really cool tour. We actually had our own private jet, like a huge one, not like a the tiny one. It was like a big plane that they had made, or like a luxury plane from inside, and they had sofas and like all like white leather in the whole plane. It's like crazy. Those were the times, but I don't think there's going back to Russia anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be rough. No, we mentioned that Weirdo's your 11th record. So you've written a lot of songs before you began collaborating with Desmond. Do you feel that you've changed as a songwriter over these last few records, just kind of learning from him? Because, for instance, like on this record, the track Rest in Pieces, I mean, that's a really personal kind of song. Is that something that working with him kind of brings out of you? What have you learned writing with
Yeah,
him?
well, that song I wrote just by myself, and it was like an extra bonus, whatever song that kind of came at the very end of the recording process. And I think I learned so much from him. Like it's it's so many things, not just writing, but just hanging out with him and like talking about politics or like family or anything, like just having that wizard there in my life, like someone said, like he's Gandalf and we are the hobbits. Like pretty well said. you know so it's like I learn every time we write a song, he's my brain is like all over the place, like my thoughts are
Yeah.
like all over the place. And like when I work with him, I maybe learn to control my thoughts and my mind a bit better, like how to say something in a way that it makes more sense or deeper or whatever. Like he's amazing writer, so it's really pleasure to work with him every
Yeah.
time.
And another big name involved in the record is Marty Frederikson, who's known for
Exactly.
his work with Aerosmith, among many, many others. Now, you brought the whole band to Nashville to record with Marty. What was the benefit to doing that rather than trying to work remotely?
Uh, well, first of all, it was really awesome to work in a great, beautiful studio in Nashville at the end of Music Row, like right there in the heart of,
Yeah.
you know, um, music. It's like music capital, as we know. So, Marty had his studio, Sienna studio there. We could, you know, had a possibility to play together, like so we could see each other and like instead of like one by one, we could like really
Yeah.
play together, and that's really luxury because a lot of times nowadays they make albums like like sending files
Right.
and like recording something at home and like it's like oh it's not really good because it's good to go there together. Like some of the songs got so much better when we were able to play together and see each other, play something, record something, go and listen. Oh, hey, let's try that. And like, you know, like things evolved so much right there. And so I think it's very important to have that, you have that chemistry and that, the feeling when you're together in the same room.
And the band just did its first US tour in a really long time this past spring. What was it like coming here and playing in the US for the first time in so long?
It was really wonderful. Like some people said they had been waiting for 20 years for us to be there. And you could really sense that. Like we played quite small venues.
Yeah.
I think like 500 to 600 something. Uh, but they were so like it felt almost like being in a stadium or something. They were singing every song from the beginning to the very end. Like it was crazy. Like just unbelievable. So we are really now thinking like we should come back as soon as we can after this European tour, which basically will take the whole rest of the year. We're going to go to Mexico and some places this year, but then the focus is on the US. So I really hope that early spring we can return and. And I wish we could play some festivals too. You
Yeah.
have some good ones in May, and
Yeah.
that would be a good timing.
Were you surprised at the reaction in the US? Because again, you guys have sold so many records all over the world. You've played so many big shows over in Europe. Were you surprised that after 20 years, people here knew the lyrics and were into the songs?
Yeah, I was surprised, because we we last time we went there it was 16 years ago,
Yeah.
and that wasn't a huge tour either.
Yeah.
Like we've never really worked the country like properly. So obviously music travels like internet and like, um, and all the streaming platforms. So people obviously had found our band, and we just had those tickets on sale for like 3 weeks, and in that time they went like,
Yeah.
and we're like, wow, this is incredible. It was a surprise. So I think it obviously wants makes us to want to come back as soon as possible to play other places, because that was only mostly on the East Coast.
Yeah.
We went up and down the East Coast. We also supported American band, The Funeral Portrait,
Mhm.
which is from the same label, Better Noise
Yeah.
Music, and so we could also play some gigs for their fans, and that was great because I think we have a good match with that band.
Mhm.
Um, and in fact, Lee Jennings, the singer of that band, is featuring on one of our songs
Yeah.
on this album. So that's also a nice connection, like when you meet some fellow musicians and you become friends with, and it's a great feeling. Like I've been texting with him, like, hey, I hope to see you soon again, and
Yeah.
like, it's they're nice guys, and it just feels great, like to have that opportunity to come back to the States, because it's like it's the biggest music market in the
Yeah.
world. It's like I don't know what happened, why we missed it, but I hope it's not too late.
Well, that's, I think, the way music is now, as you said, with streaming and things like that, it really isn't too late because people can discover all of this music that they never knew was out there. And it's right at your fingertips. It's not like you have to go to the record store and find it and buy it anymore. You could just call it right up on your phone and listen. So I think people are discovering bands like yourself a little more now.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I love this thing that I can get anything my phone. Like it's just like so good, and also you always think about like from the point of view of like an upcoming artist. I think it's important like you don't need to have a big studio or even record label. You don't need to have much money to make a great song and record it at home. Maybe you have a laptop and a microphone
Yeah.
and a guitar, and you make a little song. You share it, and next morning you wake up, it's gone viral, and all of a sudden it's like the biggest song. Things like that can happen in this modern world. So that's really, it's a fair situation for artists because not everybody has the same resources and chances.
Well, we've been spending some time here with Lauri Ylonen. The band is the Rasmus. The record is called Weirdo. It's out everywhere September 12th. And it is just, I really enjoy the record. I've been listening to it a lot. Just a great modern rock record, a great sound, great songs. And just best of luck with the record, Lauri. And hopefully we'll get you back here in the US soon.
Thank you so much. It was nice talking to you. Have a good day.
You as well.